Hello, hello. Welcome back to our channel. Leo and Dave here. And today we have a lot of things to tell on the plate. So we're going to start to talk about direction of the market after the meeting of the Fed last week, after the cut rate of last Wednesday. I think we were together on a live. And then we're going to make some analysis on some stocks, Netflix, with what happened with Paramount and Warner Bros. We want to dig today on the oil price because he's reaching a bottom, a support level, and some other interesting analysis.
Okay, great. Yeah, so if you guys are new to this channel, firstly, make sure you click the subscribe button. And most importantly, we have a group that you can join up. It's a paid signals group on Telegram. And we give signals on bottoms and tops, and highly recommended. Join up. You can send me a DM on Dave's TikTok, DAVES TikTok. That's the handle on Telegram. You can send me a message, and then I can slot you into our group. This is what we do behind the scenes as well, and all the juicy stuff is in the group. This is the public stuff. So anyway, let's get into it.
The private stuff for the group.
The private stuff is the good stuff. It's the private stuff is that's where you make the money, and that's the point of this. We want to make some money. So
only if I listen to the group, I will be a bit richer.
We're getting better every day. So what's on the? So what's the first one on the list? What one do you want to look at first? We got.
I want to talk about the direction of the market after the Fed cut, and I think we're going to look at the American index. So,
okay.
I think here I have the S&P 500. Can you see my screen? One second.
Not yet.
Yes, the S&P 500. And here on a daily basis, and if I remember last Wednesday when we were having our live together, yes, the market. So I think originally the market reacted well, or next few days, but as you see, there is not much room for.
Well, as we've been saying all of this time, it doesn't make sense if you're in the market, right? You're not in the market right now to be buying. It doesn't make sense to be going long at this point. And I think we both agreed last time that there's, because of the extra injection of liquidity, and what is it, $40 billion, they're going to start buying treasuries. The Fed cut, there might be a little bit of upside, but there's no guarantees that we're going to get a lot of upside. And if you have sold, you've got out. Obviously, in the group, we made the call of buying on April 7th, picking the exact bottom and selling right at the top.
You made the call.
Yeah. So literally pick the bottom and basically pick the top. Now, if you're not in at the moment, I wouldn't recommend getting involved at all. I'll just wait for some red candles, wait for some good red candles before playing around in this market at all. Although we both agree that there's a bit more upside, I just don't. I think, and I think a lot of people don't think there's much more upside to come. So
when you look at it, it looks a bit similar as February, March this year. So if you see, if I can go a bit, so I'm not a big painter, but so it's like this, and here, and it looks the same. You can put it here and put it here, and it's like a top before a good correction. And like we say in the previous meeting, the index went from 4,008 to we are at 7,000 now here in the S&P, but it's the same in many index. So it's like a rise already of let me tell you that 40%, I think. So
yeah.
multiply by 1.4, yes. Market are 40-50% up since April, which is a lot in a short amount of time.
It's hard when you let's just say you're not in the market right now and you're looking to get in and you're looking at the Fed agreeing that 2% was the target for inflation, but now they're okay with 3%, and you're looking at the basket of goods that you're buying, and you know that you're probably 6 to 10% or more depending on what you're buying. Inflation's not that great. It's quite bad at the moment, and you're looking at it, and you're looking at this, and you're thinking, I got to get in. But the thing is, you just make one good move at the right time, and then you can cover all of that inflation. It's just, if you're itching to get in the market at this point, this is how you get stuck. The psychology of just playing in the market all the time at the wrong times. Before things started to dump here, you can see before that double dump happened down to April 7th, if you were playing in the market since August, you basically burnt all of your gains up until then, just because you were itching to get in the market. So it's kind of the same as this. Let's just, if you're not in the market, it's not a good idea to be jumping in at this point. I'd be waiting for a lot more red candles before I play around with this. And if you were to zoom out, can you, Leo, can you zoom out a little bit? Yeah. Look at all of the dumps. It's almost every year there's a bunch of red candles where you can get in. And you see, even if you go back to 2022, and then you work your way through to July, and on every red candle there's an opportunity, you see. And so you look at where we are today, and if you're itching to get in at such lofty prices, well, you might end up losing more money and getting burnt by inflation as well, and that's not what you want to do, because you're going to get trapped, you're going to lose your money, and this is not what we want to do. And then all the experts, all the gurus out there tell you to just hold through the volatility, because they're taking your money, they're scamming you in between. So if you're looking at the S&P and you're looking at the overall market, I wouldn't really mess with this market at the moment. We kind of called the top on Netflix. Netflix has just dumped.
The longest, I would say, market that is rising up, let's say between last October 22 to the next bottom here is October 23. So the biggest or the longest is 1 year of, what to say, between.
There you go. Yes. So every year you're going to have an opportunity to get in on the S&P if that's your chosen stock. But we're going to go through a bunch of other stocks that you might be interested in looking at as well.
Let's start by Netflix.
And
anyway,
Netflix,
there is always opportunity. Netflix is going up today because not much, but
so we called for the short basically at 114, wasn't it?
15.
It was around that 115. Sorry, I lost you there. The internet. When did we call the top in our video?
It was more than a month ago. More than a month ago, $115 around this range.
Okay, so what percentage is that? That's definitely more than 10.
No, that's 20. Let me tell you exactly.
So we called the top, went all the way down. It touched 93.
It's 25% done. It's 25% done.
So we basically called a good short for you guys publicly on this channel. Just keep in mind, you can join our Telegram group and sign up for a year, and we'll give you the inside stuff. There's been a bit of politics around this, and the funny thing is, when you look at a chart like this and you start looking at it, the chart will also tell you that there's something political happening in the background. And when we called that top, then the news came out that Netflix was going to buy Warner Brothers, and then there was drama with the Ellison family and Jared Kushner from Paramount trying to take control of Warner Brothers, and Donald Trump getting involved, and now they've been pushed out, and apparently Netflix is going to be given a second chance. I think they even got paid out $2-point-something billion just for their bid to be declined. I think Netflix got paid out $2-point-something billion just for their bid being declined. So they're already ahead, and that will probably be a reason why, one of the reasons why we're seeing a little bit of it looks like it's hitting a little bit of stabilizing a little, but also if you look to the left there is a lot of action in that region there, and it goes down maybe to 80 to where we are now. You can see that there's a lot of action there. People will call it support, and that could be a reason why people are looking for they're getting in around this time. But I would still think that obviously it's going to bounce, but I would say this Netflix is going to continue down. In my opinion, I think it's finished for now. We could end up down at, where was that mark that you held there? Where was the mark?
80, but last week we were talking about...
No. On the chart, you keep moving the chart. It's hard for me to talk when you're moving the chart. Yeah. All the way back at 2022, where was the top? 70?
Yes.
70? Is that 70 there?
Yes.
So it doesn't mean we're going to touch 70, but knowing the political situation and what's going on in the background with Netflix, I don't think there's any real good news that can save this. I think it's on its way out. And so if you're still holding that short, if you happen to be in the short and you saw our first video and you're up 25%, we're making you rich, I would hold that short.
I don't think we're going to break the top soon, so that we are going to see the top again, the $125 like Bitcoin. It's funny.
On Netflix, where was the top on Netflix? Looks like 125.
125. Similar as 130. 130.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Netflix is going to go back to 130, maybe ever again. It might actually be finished. This might be the top for Netflix, and next year we'll look back and we'll realize that was the top. We basically picked the top. Look, 115, 116. We didn't pick 130 though, Leo. We're good, but we're not that good. We need to get better.
You need to get better. You need
to get better. But I think in a year's time, people will look back at Netflix and if you're still holding Netflix at this point, as I said, you need to see a psychologist. You need to sit down. You need to talk about your problems, and next year you'll be explaining to your counselor why you held Netflix all the way to the bottom. And we don't want you to do that. That's what we're here for. We're here to save you. We're here to save your life savings
and your wallet.
Yeah. And actually, now this is the short. Netflix is the one that we're getting rid of. Can we please before we go to the economics thing, can we please look at Nestle?
Yes.
Can we have a look at Nestle? I'm actually pretty excited about Nestle. Now, this is something that could be a buy soon. Nestle.
Nestle.
So the problem with Nestle, or the narrative, is that it started dumping because the cost of cocoa worldwide skyrocketed, and all over the third world, cocoa became so expensive. And so that's basically the narrative. We don't know, but anyway, you can see it on the chart. Oh, let's not go to cocoa. Just let's not go to cocoa. We're just
Yes, let's watch.
because Nestle is the one, and sure that if you're looking at the price of cocoa, there's 1,000 companies out there that are either selling some product that cocoa is used in. It could be cocoa butter, cocoa soap, cocoa. But what we're looking at here is we're looking at a blue chip. This is a massive company, a safe company. They sell to a lot of people. And so we tend to think that a company like this that has a real balance sheet, that sells to real people, should come back as soon as the market, the inputs are cheaper. And yeah, that's actually a good chart. That says everything I'd say we need to see. And if you go back, you can see it 2008, it kind of did the same thing, didn't it? Looks very similar.
You went from
Maybe
55 to 35, which is a drop of, yes, it was the financial crisis at the time.
Like, look at the point of Nestle right now. If it continues dumping down past this point here, it's in a lot of trouble. But Nestle is a blue chip. Nestle is a big company. This is a trusted company. So
you're gonna laugh. We are at the same level of decrease. So between 2007 and 2009, which was minus 40%, between 130 and where we are now, 77, 78, is minus 40% here.
Wow.
So we are at the same level of decrease.
Wow. This is...
It went slightly down here, but look, we are at the same level.
So let's just say you're doing your short, or you sold Netflix, and then you rotate into something safe like this. This is how you get rich. You wanna rotate into the next thing. And yeah, when you just look at that, you just think, okay, if this goes any lower, it would make sense if it was something like, even like I know these are big companies as well, but like if it's a Palantir or a Oracle or an Nvidia, I get it. But this is like a blue chip. I get it. They're big companies. I know how hyperbolic what I'm saying is, but this is one of the
good thing with Nestle is not like all these technologies that can be outdated very fast. Everybody is still eating chocolate in 20 years. So
yeah, exactly. I went to the shops today. I was thinking Nestle. So I walked down the chocolate aisle and everything's Nestle, and the cost of chocolate is expensive at the moment. I understand why, and so their sales probably aren't as good as they should be. Cocoa decreases in price. The current stock goes through, and then when the cost of cocoa reaches the shelves after working its way through, that's when I can see this thing moving again. And you can see here there's a lot of volatility here. That right at the end there, just the last year pretty much, there's been a lot of volatility, which kind of tells me that we're coming up to a point where things could start to bottom out. When you look at that, you can still see a little bit more downside. And what we want to do is, on this video, we want to pick the bottom. We want to pick the exact bottom on this one. And it looks like there's a little bit more downside.
Can you believe their first bottom was end of 24, and they were going up during April, so they didn't have a big crash in April, but then they went lower in July. So they didn't have the collapse in. Let me here.
There's an inverse relationship to the tech
Yes,
stocks.
yes, which could make sense. Maybe it's to say how we call these companies that are
Yeah.
not pro cycle, like kind of defensive. Yes, it's kind of
Or
defensive stocks.
or just the limited amount of, you know, people rotated out of something like this to take advantage of the Palantirs and the Oracles and the S&P or whatever else. And now when this starts to bottom out, and you know, inflation kicks up and 2026 starts looking really bad, geopolitics comes back and things start looking really bad, then this thing might just grind up and give you 50% over the next like 12 months. And that's why a lot of these stock market gurus get mega rich. It's because they're rotating into the right places, and this kind of makes sense right now. It
Anyway,
makes sense.
it touched 70 Swiss franc, I think, the currency of this company. So it's kind of it. The previous support or resistance here was a resistance, and here we are at the support. And I think if this stock's success to how to say, to break this this level, the 90, it could be for a recovery 26, 27.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it looks like it's starting to find the bottom by its behavior at the moment. And you know, it'd be interesting if it comes back to that bottom blue line that you just put in there. If it can come back down there,
Here,
yeah, mate, like my opinion, that new blue line that you just put in at 50, if it goes down there, I would start worrying about the future of the company. I would say the company's in a lot of trouble. This is why I'm thinking that we're already near a bottom. You know, like even now it might be a buy. You know, maybe put in half now and then wait a little bit until it's confirmed, and then put another 50% of whatever you're planning on adding. That's kind of my take on this. It just looks, it looks good. It looks good. It looks like something that, you know, if you were holding Netflix and you got out of Netflix when we called it and you're sitting there for a little bit, this would be something that you would go into, I would say.
at 70 Swiss franc, it's a buy. So if you hit again this middle blue line around 70, it's a buy. It's still a buy now at 79, but if you hit again this line,
and the top is 100 and
30.
basically 130. Yeah. Okay.
So if you buy now and you sell at 120, you make 50%, which is good. So there is room for 50% bonds.
And 50%, that would you know, you could see it getting back up to that point and then going sideways, basically like what it did 2008 to 2010. You basically see that kind of repeating again.
This one?
Yeah, I can kind of see that repeating again. That's why, you know, if you're holding any of these tech stocks right now, that's just too dangerous. If you're holding Netflix, if you're holding, look, I know, are we going to have a look at Google? Because
Yes,
that's
why not?
probably, but
So,
you know, the Nasdaq's been struggling. The Nasdaq's been struggling more than the S&P and the Dow Jones. You know, Nvidia's in a lot of trouble. You can see it in the chart. Palantir's in trouble. Oracle's in trouble. Apple's in trouble. You just go down the list of all of these tech stocks. They're all in a lot. They've all the bubble's starting to crack. You can see a lot of cracks. There you go. Exactly. This is what I didn't quite get. Warren Buffett steps in and buys Google at this point. And so I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, this is Warren Buffett. He should know.
What does he know? What does he know that we don't know? Like, does he know something special? What does he know, Dave? Dave, you lost us.
A lot of these big gurus.
We lost you, Dave. We lost you today. Dave. Dave, are you still with us? Dave, your Wi-Fi is going down. It's gonna come back. Anyway, here, Google, 300 bucks. Like we were telling, why Warren Buffett bought at such level? Does he know something that the public doesn't know? Anyway, it seems there is a correction since November, 10% down from the top. I will expect a bounce back to $240. Hello, Dave. You back with us?
Yes, Wi-Fi cut out. I'm in a hotel, so.
I was telling to buy Google. I say it's the right time to buy.
Really?
No, I was telling we should all be full in on Netflix, Google, Bitcoin, everything. It's time to buy. It's Christmas now.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between you and me. You're always bullish. Buy, hold, buy and hold. We're going to the moon. Yeah, I didn't quite understand why Warren Buffett, I think he sold some of his Coca-Cola. I think he sold some of his Apple as well. Yeah, and then he rotated it into Google, and it's a big company. It makes a lot of money. Maybe that was what he was thinking, but the thing is, it's if that's not a bubble, I don't know what is. Just look at that thing. So anyway,
more than 100% since the bottom of April. So more than 100%.
And it's down again today, isn't it? And it's been down all week. It's been down since Warren Buffett bought it too. So he's down. He's losing money.
But he didn't tell you. He didn't tell you when he bought. That's the thing I already mentioned. What?
Yeah.
What if he bought in June and he's telling you now? Maybe he bought here at 180, and yes, maybe he bought at the right time and he's making a big bunch of cash, because if he bought So if he bought here,
But can he do that? Because that would be a form of manipulation. Wouldn't he have to be telling us when he buys?
not to the public. Look, he was doing
Okay.
manipulation on the market, the owner of X on Bitcoin before. He was first buying Bitcoin and then 2 weeks later he was telling, oh, I bought Bitcoin, and he was doing full manipulation. Same thing on the way back when he sold. Obviously he sold and then he said to the public, oh, I sold. So
Okay.
I don't think I will try to find when it's got published first the information regarding the purchase of our friend
Mm.
Warren Buffett, but I'm still sure that these people don't say directly. I will try to go to this
Okay.
website and find out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't go to the Berkshire Hathaway website or anything like that. I probably should have.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Let's see
Yeah.
how often he's giving the details of this transaction and what he's sharing regarding this transaction. Anyway,
Mm.
for you it's a bubble, so no time to
Yeah,
buy.
this is a very dangerous one to be playing with at these lofty prices, that's for sure. No matter how big and awesome Google is, it's
And
it's a
very,
very
very volatile. Huh? You see, we filled the gap. So there was a gap between 300 and 310. We went back to fill the gap. Are we going to fill all the gap? Because there is a lot of gap, and I think there is a big gap here. Will you buy at this level, Dev? So here there is a big gap. If the market was correcting until here, which is like 210, will you buy here?
yeah, I would say that that would be a great price to get in, knowing that where is that? That's 210. Where was the top? 320?
330?
320, 330, all the way down to 2. Yeah. Yeah. This is so big that it's almost an S&P 500 on its own. It's a massive, safe company. Everybody uses Google. You know, it's one of those. It's as blue chip as they come.
It's not going to be
Premium
changed
stock.
tomorrow.
You know. Yeah.
So if we
So
fill the big gap here, if we fill the big gap, you are bullish.
if if it was to come down to 200, 215, it would still take a long year to get there too. It'll take a long time to get there.
Maybe next year.
It might even take a year and a half to get there. Yeah. But if that happened, so like if you did happen to buy in, you know, this is a good time to rotate out of it and then think of something like a Nestle, you know, and then think of a few other, you know, stocks along those lines. It'd be good to go through a list of these and try to find a few good ones. Nestle is a good one, I would say. There's probably quite a few others. Do
We
you
need
have
to do
anything else to say about that?
we need to do some good stock picking. But Google, I wouldn't buy Google. Nestle, I'm not against. It's like more a defensive portfolio. It can be a good time to buy. What did I want to share as well? Any other stocks you want to talk about? We can move on to the oil. Apple, we can look
No.
at Apple just because. Yes,
Which
Apple.
one?
Apple
Apple.
270. Yes, is yes, yes,
I
yes.
think I think maybe looking at Bitcoin, we should probably look at Bitcoin every time we do a stream, actually.
So
And
let's move on.
for you guys at home, if you happen to be watching, you know, make sure you send us a message in the Telegram, send us a DM on Telegram so that you can join up to our Telegram group where we give signals, buy signals, and we talk about stocks in there. Really important.
And
sign up.
top signal when you say to sell.
Yeah, we're looking for bottoms and tops.
It's funny because
Bitcoin.
market was going up half an hour ago. Yes, there is a big red candle.
Oh, can we not look at the hourly? It has to be dailies or weeks. I prefer the weekly chart if possible, not the 15-minute or.
I like the minute one.
So, for you guys at home, if you're looking at this, you know, when I see this on the weekly, I immediately, if you didn't know anything about Bitcoin and you were just looking at that and you were looking at it like it was a Nestle or it was like a Google, and you didn't quite understand how this thing had a cycle and how volatile it is because people don't really hold it, you'd probably look at this range and you'd probably be looking at, it looks like maybe, what is that? Maybe 80 to like maybe 75 on the chart. You might be thinking that bottom. Oh, okay. So that's you think that's a fractal.
It looks similar. Look.
Yeah. I can see it looks like a fractal for sure. It does look like a fractal.
It looks like we are here. Let me try to.
If it was to repeat, then
no, it's not nice. But yeah.
See, the beauty of this is, we could have a little bit of a reversal. But yeah, 60K is not, in the next 3 months, is not a radical idea because this is such a volatile thing to play with. You see? If you're looking at Bitcoin right now, this is not a buy signal. And I know you're probably thinking, can you go to the bottom of the support where we're at? Is that not that spot?
Let me take off this graph.
Yeah. Can you take the box out as well? Take all the boxes out, yeah. Because we get what you mean. Yeah, they look similar. Now the support there is at 75. Yeah, about where you are there. That's 75, isn't it? Now, a lot of you at home will probably be looking at that thinking that that's a good buy, and sure, you might be right. If it did reach that mark, or even now, and then the reward might be 10% or something. But is it worth risking any money? Is anything worth risking for 10%? In my opinion, no. Touching this thing at all for the next 12 months is just not a good idea. Not a good idea. And in the next 12 months, we should, in theory, hit the bottom of this stock. We should find the bottom within the next 12 months. Again, join the Telegram group. Sign up. We'll be trying to find the bottom. Within the next 3 months, 60K on Bitcoin is not, it's not a crazy idea because look at how volatile this thing is. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen over the next?
I cannot believe it's going to repeat the same pattern, but it looks like we are. So let me try to do again. It looks like we are exactly in this area. So there was this big red candle. Okay, let's see, is this one? Bit of stagnation here. So how long did he last this? Let me calculate.
Well, instead of like getting into the weeds of the technical analysis, do you think we're going to go back to 120K now Do you think we're going to go up and crack it now, or do you think we're in the bear market? Are we still in a bull run?
We're probably in the bear market now, sadly.
Okay.
Yes, so we might be in this type of area another 2 months, 3 months, and then collapse from March, April next year. So maybe, like you say, we can hit 75 and bounce back. So if we do this,
so you're
we
more
might do this.
But can you answer the question instead of playing around with the chart so much? It's a real simple question. You're playing around with the chart instead of talking to me.
What is the question?
It's real simple. Are we still in the bull run?
I think we collapsed already, so we are already in the bear.
Okay. So you think it's just blatantly obvious that we're in a bear market. Okay, yeah.
It looks like now, even if it's difficult for me to be bearish, I still think we are in a bear market now.
That's what I think. I think. Well, as I said, I think in the next 3 months we'll be down at 60 or 70K.
80K, we are almost there. 80K is nothing. It's just 5%. So
go sideways, maybe rally up to 90, 95, crash again. There's still a lot of people in the market that are hopeful that we're going to, skyrocket past 130, and they're the people that are still keeping this thing alive. Yeah. But when
are we doing a triple shoulders? Will it look good to do this? Let me do this. Put green. Or which one makes more sense? Or doing this? The question is here: which one makes more sense from here, from where we are? So are we getting back up to this, to 120, 125? So it's like a triple shoulder. or are we touching the previous level?
Yeah, I don't think the market is that naive to start throwing their money in to get it back up there. I think a lot of the market is realizing that this is done. It might go sideways because there might be a few people buying in now thinking that it might go back to 130 or even 100, and they might be making a trade. And this is what will usually happen. It will hit a point like this where the hopeful bulls get in, and it might take a good 3 months for them to lose all their money and start getting stressed enough to start selling off. And that's where we get like the next stage of capitulation. And it might take 3 months or more for that to happen. And then, another capitulation, and then the traders get in, they buy again, and we see some more green candles, but it never goes back to 130. And
if you have to pick up between these two arrows, which one will you choose? From the past, you will tend to pick more the red. But...
Yeah. And I don't think it will go. Look, if it started crashing from here again, then that's a major warning sign. I think it will. People will start buying now. We might get a few green candles. I don't think we're going back to 100K. We might be lucky to hit 95K before we dump again. I think there's a lot of people that are still holding from 100K because they got trapped thinking that they were going to skyrocket past 130. And if it goes anywhere near 100 again, those people are going to push the red button and sell fast. And there's a lot of people above this price range that are looking to get out. And you can see it. You can see it in the chart. You can see it in the rhetoric online. So
you mean anybody that bought between 90 and 105 or 110 will be okay to sell at 95?
I think at this point there's a lot of people underwater just looking for some green candles to try to limit their losses and get out. You see, and yeah, those people are looking to get out, and that's what happens usually. That's my understanding of the psychology of the market. Look at the influencers out there at the moment. All of the videos of them talking about it, they're shocked. What is happening? I thought we're going to get altcoin season.
But do you think they sold at 120, or do you think they are underwater like everyone else?
The influencers, I think they're just as naive as anyone else. Yeah. I think a lot of them are maxis too, which means they hold at 130. You see? But I think we're done. I think the next 12 months, I think, where's the chart there? July 2020. Is that 2027? Oh, okay. Yeah, so the end of that red candle, that red arrow that you put there is the end of 2026, isn't it?
Yes, beginning 27.
So that's actually quite accurate. I would say somewhere down there. I think we'll hit the bottom a lot earlier. That red candle needs to be shortened a little bit. Yeah, something like that. And you have a look at back in March 2024. Remember March? And you look at March 2024, we could be around that range, which is massive support. You see? That's massive support, isn't it?
Yes.
This is why getting in at 50K in the next 12 months, if that happens, you're good. I think if it breaks through 60 here, breaks through 70, breaks through 60, and somehow goes somewhere near 50. What is the bottom of that? That wick was 45 or something, wasn't it?
No, it was 50. Let me tell you.
August
49. It was 49.
Oh, see those prices back then. I remember. I remember when we got that red candle too. That was August 2024. I remember the day.
I know we were over the phone, I think.
I remember the day, and I remember telling people I'm buying, and everybody I spoke to told me that, oh no, it's going to keep going lower, and I literally picked the bottom within hours. If you're watching this and you're thinking of getting in, look, if you can get in around 50K, that would be a magical price point to get in. It would be. But the beauty of joining up to our group is that we're not just going to do this analysis. We're going to pick a few other ones that can do a 10x as well. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, something like that. And then in the next, say, 3 years after that, it does a 300%. Maybe goes to 150. You could definitely see that happening. It's pretty simple when you look at it like that, isn't it?
Bitcoin for Jimmy, but it's not as easy as it looks. You know that. You have the psychology, the emotion, the greed.
All of that support there. Obviously over the next 3 to 6 months, we'll be spending a lot of time looking at the charts and looking at the drama and the psychology and seeing what people are saying on Twitter, and we'll be trying to find that bottom. But this is a simplistic way of looking at it. 50K would be a great spot to get in, I would say. Definitely.
Are you going to share your secret regarding like always selling in a green candle and buying on a red candle?
What do you mean? If it's
The psychology about it, like how it's good to always sell on a green candle and
mm,
uh, and purchase when it's red. As simple as it sounds, it's not easy in practice.
mm. Well, right now it's like trying to find the bottom is what we're trying to do here, and ideally, 50K is a good mark. We're back up at nine. What are we at? 88 now, aren't we?
86,
Today,
86.
today we made a bit of a reversal. We're back up a little bit, and just kind of knowing how this beast Bitcoin moves. 50K is realistic price point to get in for sure. Maybe you can make a short about this. That'd be good to have a short to remember 50K as
Yes,
being
yes,
kind of the
yes.
call.
Anything
Um,
around 50K, it's a golden opportunity.
mm. And
Uh,
that would be you buying on a red candle. That would be the psychology around it. Because at the moment, it's like, that's why I asked you. I said, look, do you think we're still in a bull run? When people are still questioning whether we're in a bull run, it's definitely not time to be buying. We need people to be questioning whether it's ever going to come back. You want people to be questioning whether Bitcoin's ever going to come back. Is it finished forever?
yes,
That's when you're buying.
it's a scam, it's a fraud. Nobody needs it. Uh,
You
what
want
can you
people
do?
to.
What can you do
Mm,
with a Bitcoin? You cannot
you,
even
you
buy a coffee at the coffee shop.
and if people are watching, when we bought in at the bottom in 2023, I think it was 2023. I remember it was winter, so it was cool. Right at the bottom, around 18K, I got in. I remember
People don't know the winter for you.
in Australia, so your European summer, uh, it was it was scary because if you had a look at Twitter, everyone was saying that we're going to 10K, we're going lower, and 15,500. There was a lot of questioning whether people thought Binance was going to go under and the entire market was going to go lower at that point. So at this point, we're so high up. If you're watching this now in 12 months time and you come back here, these prices are going to seem really, really high. I think we've got a lot of downside to go. Let's just put it that way. And this is more fun than anything because we're waiting for the bottom. We're trying to find the bottom. I really like this part of the cycle. We got 12 months of really looking at this chart, watching it. But anyway, do you have anything else to say before we move on to the geopolitical situation in the world and the oil prices and Venezuela and Iran and what's going on out there and trying to predict what's happening with the dollar? Is that where you're taking us? 'Cause
Let me have a look. Let me look on monthly basis. If I see anything, if I can draw, if I can
it's
draw.
funny when you look at it from this side, it's still in a bullish range. What we're waiting for is this to go sideways a little bit and then crash again, and then everyone knows that it's not looking good at this point, and they have to sell. And this is on the monthly chart. There was 3 months of red candles there. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for 3 months of just people. This is when all of the exchanges go under pressure and people start thinking the exchanges are going to collapse. And this is the fun. This is where it gets fun.
I don't think we will go back to 40K, but let's say this way, like you say, this big area of March 20, this big area of March last year, it will make sense to go back to it. And yes, if you get around between 50 and 60 will be a great opportunity. Anyway, let's move on. I wanted to talk about oil. Especially you mentioned.
And why did you want to bring this up? So
because we are on a. Oh, I just look at the graph, and we are on a support, and with the tension with Venezuela and the United States, I think it makes sense to look at the oil, because oil is how to say something very volatile, and if tension.
Can you show more? Yes. When it zoom out, yeah, I want to see the whole picture.
So here is
maybe the weekly price. Chart. Is there a weekly chart there?
Let me see if I find better graph. Let me see if I find something better. At least 2020. Let me see on weekly basis. Yes. Anyway, so
it looks a little bit. It
looks what?
Looks a little bit like Nestle.
We are on a support, as you can see here. Let me draw the line. We are 50% down since the start of the war between Russia and Ukraine.
But there was support higher up too. 70 something. There's another support. Yes, no, don't move the chart. Yeah, there's another support, and then it.
Yes, we broke one support.
Then it was a trap. It was a bull trap. It pumped and then dumped.
Yes, I see here. Anyway, if we don't hold here, if the oil doesn't hold here, we can go to 43.40.
And it's already broken where it was in 2020. It's broken, what's that, 71?
So here in 2020.
So it peaked. It peaked right when Russia invaded Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Yes. To be honest, I don't remember at the time if the Middle East country with the countries that have oil producer, they have discussion, and they say if they increase their supply. I wonder if they have increased their supply during the war, because Russia is kicked out of the market. But yes, I think we are in an interesting level here. What do you think?
So okay, so I'm not looking at this from a trading point of view. I'm looking at this from an economic point of view. And if the price of oil starts increasing, you see, there's so many different interests going on. The rest of the world, we want cheap oil. We want cheap oil, so we got cheap energy, so that our lives are better. But you see, cheap oil tends to hurt Russia, and the United States has a lot of access to countries that can pump. And that's my theory, is a lot of those countries are pumping just to try and bring the oil price down, to try to hurt Russia's economy. That's my only theory, really. Even though they did sign contracts with China that probably at a fixed price, because they would have predicted this anyway. And so, are you suggesting that well, I guess you are. You're suggesting this is support. We can't go any lower. So energy is going to become more expensive moving forward.
Yes, and how to say, the war between Russia and the rest of the world is not finished, and I think Russia has no interest to put the price much lower. So why not a bounce back and you heard the tension between Venezuela and the US, and generally tensions are not good for the price of the oil. So and why the US is so much into Venezuela? Maybe they need more oil. So yes, my pick will be. I think it's a good entry price at $60
Yeah,
the
it'll be interesting to see. I don't think Venezuela is going to affect the oil price at all, to be honest. I don't think it will.
It's a big producer, huh?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add on this, to be honest. I can't think of anything to add to this. And if this was a stock and I was thinking of buying, I still probably, knowing what's going on in the world, I still wouldn't buy because there's no guarantee with this one.
You think they
like
don't
the
have
chart,
any
the chart looks great. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking at the chart and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's already broken support. But when I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, what if the global economy is in a lot worse shape and we go back down to, what is it, 20 down there?
What if the tension in Middle East came back between Iran and all the country around? What if the situation in Ukraine and Russia get worse?
But what normally happens? So when tensions get bad, do the prices go up or down?
Price should go up.
Well, we've been at war for the last 3 years, and the price has been going down. You see, so that's not how this works. But obviously, there's something else happening other than that.
Yes, because like I say, country can be forced to supply more. So
it's not really. You can't really look at this from a technical like just look at the graphs, and even just looking at the supply doesn't work because it's all political more than anything. There's all these mechanisms outside of our rational ideas, and a lot of it's political. We don't know what these politicians are thinking half the time. They don't listen to us. We don't know what their plans are. The only thing I can think of, which might be totally wrong, is that they're trying to lower it to hurt Russia. That's the only thing I can think of, really. And yeah, and apparently India's buying cheap oil from Russia to get around all of these sanctions anyway. So, there's probably more oil flooding the market at the moment, which complicates things to the point where I just look at this and just think, I have no idea. I can't say anything about this.
You don't want to get into my recommendation.
What do you think? You think this is can you actually just buy this? Is it just like a stock?
It's like an index you can trade on how to say with CFD.
Okay.
But yes, it's a very dangerous asset to volatile.
So right now, where are we at on it? We're at
59.
59. Like what if
it's
it
more
does go down?
it's more trading advice. Like I think traders are on here. And
so so what's this marquee you got there? You got 40. Yeah. Okay, so what I would do is I would, like, what would I do? I would keep this on the list. It's already broken these points. I would be looking around 40 and start thinking about it. And if I've got nowhere else to go, if it goes to 40, I might consider it. if it wicks down to 20, then you're good, right? That's a great spot. But now at this point, there's a lot more war to come. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot more stress in the Western economies.
Yes.
This thing could go to 20. But
Let's move on to silver.
Yeah.
No.
And silver and silver is a good warning that things aren't looking very good in the economy as well. So the tops were about 50, weren't they? All the way back, it hit 50 twice, didn't it?
Here? Yes, no, but now we are at the highest from all the time. So
Yeah. So this is definitely a
bubble.
And historically, when silver does this, when it hits the top, it doesn't stay there for very long. Yes. It comes down, and it comes down hard. So
I think we are close of the end of this rise. Could it do a double top? It didn't happen on the past.
Yeah, so I do remember our targets. I think we almost were, what was 100? I think it was 100, maybe 8K on gold, and yeah,
7 to 8K on gold for 26, 27. No, 27. Yes.
Yeah.
But the gold is going up less sharp. Silver is very sharp. The gold.
Yeah. And the last time this happened, silver dumped first, and then gold followed. And so, if silver starts dumping, it might be a good time to reduce, the risk with whatever you're holding in gold. Yeah, because these prices are pretty good, especially if you got in low. The other,
But as you see, it's exponential. So here you multiply by 9.5. So if we take the other bottom, yes, we are in a high level. Here it did 5 to 50, 10. Still possible to get close of the 100, Dave. Maybe with maybe with a little correction. Maybe this time there will be a correction. Why not something like?
The beauty of something like this, if you're holding silver and it does sort of have a bit of a dump and starts pulling back. So we're at 66. Where's the top? 66. So let's just say it pulled back to 60 in a fast move. That would be when I would have my finger hovering over the sell button. Any sort of weakness at this point, you want to just be like, okay, get ready to get out.
Especially the candles are becoming bigger and bigger since 4 weeks. You cannot have illimited. Here there was 3 big candles, 2020, 2011, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. We are almost at the end. Like maybe there is a bit. Oh, here, how long he went? June 79 to. Yeah, here is a 6 months rise. How long are we in the rise here? Let's say August to now. We are 4 months. Yes, 4, 5 months. Maybe 1 more month of rise. And then it should correct, I think. But you wouldn't buy now. You wouldn't buy at this level.
So I wouldn't be looking at a price point. I would just be waiting and looking at it and going, okay, when do you get a little red candle? And as soon as you start getting a red candle, I would just get out. And this is the lesson about selling on a green. Right now, if you're in the profit and it's skyrocketing like this, as soon as you get some red candles, it might dump back to 60 within a couple of days. That's when you take it and you get out and you go, okay, we're done. We'll come back in 30 years and buy silver at the bottom again, you see? And then you rotate into something else like Nestle. This is what the smart people do. They don't try and hold it at this point. But as soon as it shows any weakness, like it has a little bit of a dump and it's a rapid little dump, you just sell. But you don't think about a price point. Just look at it, you know? And at the moment, it's still going up. It's still holding. So you just continue to hold it. But if this thing pulls back and it pulls back fast, then make sure you get out at these lofty levels. And the funny thing is, when you zoom out and you look at what you've done in the past, it's not exactly rocket science. It's greed if you want to hold higher, hoping that it goes to 100 at this point. And it doesn't mean that it won't go to 100. It might go to 100. But as soon as it shows weakness and starts pulling back, get out.
Time to take the money, the cash.
Exactly, you know, and so that's why I'll be watching gold very carefully, and if it does actually get to some lofty prices, I'll be looking to get out as well. Yeah.
You never
Anyway,
sell
guys,
money. You never sell money by selling too early, but you never lose money by selling too early. But
exactly. Like losing money is what you don't want to do. You always want to be protecting what you've got. But yeah, for you guys out there that are thinking of joining the group, we've got a group where we give signals and we pick stocks and we try to pick these tops and these bottoms, and we're going to be trying to pick the bottom of Bitcoin in the group, and we'll be trying to.
Can you remind us the name of the group?
So you have to send me a message on Telegram. My handle is Dave's TikTok. I should probably change that, but Dave's TikTok on Telegram. Go to Telegram, send me a message. You can also go and and we'll pin it in the comments as well. We'll type all of this out in the comments so that you guys can get all that information and you can reach out to us. And you know,
Anyway,
unless you
thank
want
you
to.
for following us today. And Merry Christmas in advance. And hopefully a lot of good call for next year.
Yes, and make some money. So
we need
click
some.
the subscribe button and click the bell icon so that you're notified whenever we upload a new video, and join our group.
Cheers.
Thank you.